Welcome back, Wrestling Junkies. Jake Hodges here. Let's get into it. So in this video, we're going to take a look at JO's single leg, and we're going to talk about what he looks for and multiple ways he's getting there, and a lot about timing. Now, when I say timing, I mean anticipating a reaction or an action that I'm able to attack. So there's kind of two types of timing. A timing that I create, which would be called a setup. So I deliberately create the reaction and I anticipate the reaction to get my timing right. The other kind of timing would be reading the action. So reading what my opponent does, where I don't necessarily have to even create it. So like, if a guy pressures me really hard, I could level change and attack right away, and I didn't have to do any setup of my own. So the opponent creates an action, and I'm able to anticipate the action and then attack it. So that's what I mean by timing, anticipating an action or a reaction and then attacking it. And we see JO do both. So we're going to take a look at both in this video. So in this clip, we're going to find that JO has a right hand collar tie, which is opposite of the side he typically single legs, and that Molinaro doesn't have a lot of pressure into him. They're kind of holding the same ground, similar pressures. No one's really taking or giving any ground. And so in order to create the weight shift into the foot that JO wants to attack, he's just going to pull down on his collar tie hand. So right here, so the weight hasn't gone to Molinaro's foot yet. Right, this is the timing part. So JO has already started his level change and started to move toward his penetration step. Right, he's already started it, but there's no weight shift, or at least massive weight shift into the foot he wants to attack. Right, so as we continue moving forward, he's starting to pull down on Molinaro's head to get the weight over his foot. Now you can see he's still got the collar tie. As he's moving in to this attack, right here is where all the weight is shifted into Molinaro's foot. His other foot's off the mat, which means there's no other place for the weight to be besides either in this foot or somewhere on JO. But JO level changes so hard that guys miss his body to post on a lot. So continues in. Now as Molinaro is starting to get weight off his foot again, it's just too late. JO started his penetration too soon, and he's able to capture it and go around for his single leg. So again, he's starting his penetration before he even starts to shift the weight into the guy's foot. Now, right about here is probably about as much weight as he can get into Molinaro's foot in this position from his right hand collar tie. And he's already moving forward into his attack. And that's the timing of it. So as he releases Molinaro's head to go both hands to the leg, there's just too much weight in Molinaro's foot for him to pick it up properly, and JO's able to get two hands to his leg and ends up scoring fairly easy. So in that last clip, we saw him put weight into the guy's foot with a right hand collar tie by pulling pretty much straight down. Another little variation he does with right hand collar tie is a small pull down, and then he'll rotate the guy's head away from him as he attacks, which is what he does in this clip. So he goes right hand on, and here he's already starting his penetration. When you see this foot start to move backwards a little bit, he's started his penetration. So he goes right hand on. It's a very short down, barely at all. And I would imagine the guy's fighting up just a little bit for some resistance. Now as he's attacking this angle, so Jo will be able to attack this angle. Now in this variation of this head pull weight shift, he's gonna also create a bigger angle by moving the guy's head in the opposite direction, opening up this side of his body. So as he continues through, you can see him pull his head off to the side, and this guy's foot still hasn't moved, so he was able to get some weight into it. As he attacks, this guy's angle is all off to defend. His head's looking away, his hips are facing the wrong direction. He's all sorts of messed up to try to defend here. And just Jo's not in any danger at all. He doesn't get stuck underneath him. Just no risk of getting sprawled on right there. So again, the concepts are still the same. Weight shift to the foot and timing. Just we're mostly going to focus on all sorts of variations of him doing that throughout this video. So let's watch it one more time. So boom, he starts his penetration, starts his level change, pulls down a little bit. The weight starts to shift into this guy's foot. Now as he continues, the variation is going to be him pulling the guy's head out to the side, opening up a huge angle for him to attack, where he doesn't have to worry about getting stuck underneath him in a typical sprawl. Let's see if we can catch the timing real quick. So boom, he's already started his attack as this weight is shifted into the foot. So in the last two clips, we had right hand collar tie, one pull straight down, and one was a variation of a pull and then a head shift to the opposite angle, so it could open up a little bit of bigger window. Now he can do the same kind of weight shift from a left hand collar tie. It's a little faster because he has to drop that hand down to attack the guy's leg. So here we're going to focus on Jo's left hand. So it's shifted from the guy's back to the guy's head. Starts to pull down, gets the guy's weight shifted over his foot. Now as the shifts that weight, he's already starting his penetration. So as his hand shifts to collar tie, he's already started to adjust his feet to get ready to attack. Now his back foot hits as that weight has started to shift into the guy's front foot. Penetrates forward and just all the weight right here. A guy is going to have a hard time picking this leg up. You can see this foot's all the way off the mat. So there's no way all the weight is not either in his foot or on Jo somehow. And again, Jo's level change is ridiculous, so it's very hard for him to get head blocked or arm posted on his attacks. And you can kind of see in this clip how if the timing of his attack hasn't started before the weight's completely shifted into his foot, if it's a second too late, he's missing this attack. You can see, so as he starts to hit his knee, his hand starts to get behind, and this guy starts to be able to pick his foot up, but his timing for the weight shift into that guy's leg is so good that he's able to catch it before he's able to get the weight completely off of it and take both his feet away. In this clip, he shifts the weight with his left hand again, so like left hand collar tie, head snap, just like the last clip, but it's a little different because his opponent starts to take off a 2-on-1. So right here, Jo's got right hand collar tie, and his opponent starts to cross reach to his wrist to kind of look to take off a 2-on-1. Now, right here, we're going to start to see Jo move his feet to the angle he wants to attack. And also, as this guy steps this foot forward, he's going to add weight to it with a left hand head snap. So he's shifted his angle to the side he wants to attack. Now he's starting to pull this guy's head down to get weight over his foot. Now again, his level change is ridiculous. So he's able to get underneath the guy's head with all that weight into his foot. He just doesn't have a chance to pick it up in time to get it back. So the guy's going to want to take 2-on-1 off and bring it in front. As he starts to take it off, Jo's going to shift his head and arm over this direction, which is going to help bring this guy's foot around, which will help with adding weight to it, which is what he's looking for. So he shifts his head and arm over to that side. Guy's foot starts to come around. Starts to set his feet. Hand starts to put weight down the side he wants to attack. Level change. Right to a single leg. This clip, we're going to see him use his left hand again to get weight into Bajrang's front foot so he can attack. This one's a little more subtle. So we see Bajrang take a step. Now, before Jo adds any more weight to Bajrang's foot, he's already started to fix his feet for his penetration. So as you see the weight, yep, right there. The weight comes down, he snaps through the guy's head. All the weight to the foot he's attacking. Pretty simple. Left hand snaps to add some weight. You see Bajrang try and pick his foot up, but there's just not enough time. He's already started his level change before the weight's completely gotten all the way in his foot. Right here, you'll see him start to try and pick up his foot, and it's just too late. This clip gets into something that Jo also kind of looks for, and it's if the side he's attacking, so Jo's left side, if that guy's arm comes over top, so if his right hand comes over top, and I couldn't tell you why in this clip this guy decides to reach over top like he does, but he just leaves it wide open for Jo to attack. So we're still going to talk about the weight shift and the timing, but something that helps with all that is this guy's arm coming over top. So the guy's got right hand inside, fairly decent position. Now here, he pulls it out and just big swims it over top for some reason. I don't know. He's just opening up this ginormous angle on this side, this window. He's just giving it to Jo. So he swims over top. You can see this is Jo's hand right here. It's kind of hard to tell, but he uses his left hand to get the weight on the guy's foot, just like in the last clips. So he starts to get weight in this guy's foot, starts to get him leaning forward. And he's already started his footwork for his penetration. As this guy's foot hits the mat, there's just not enough time to pick it up before Jo is able to attack it. It's also a really good single leg angle run. So again, sometimes Jo's looking for the guy to bring his hand up over top, and in the next couple of clips we'll see where he can make that happen on his own. But for whatever reason in this clip, this guy just decides to swim his hand over top. Swims hand over, Jo left hand snaps through the guy's head to get weight, going forward and down into this foot. Foot's stuck in the mat, all the weight's on it. Continues to attack. It's super simple, but the timing of it, it's critical. So in this clip, we're going to see Jo use his left hand again, but it's to get the guy to reach. All right, so he can get underneath his arm to attack. So it's less of a club and more of a fake touch. So he's like, sometimes he'll just tap the side of the guy's head to get him to reach, and then he'll attack. So we see Jo's left hand start to reach up. So he's just gonna tap. He just taps the side of the guy's head. You see this guy's hand start to come up. As he reaches that hand up, the weight starts to shift into this guy's foot. As it hits the mat, he's already into his level change and penetration motion. Very precise timing. Attacks his ankle. Simple setup, super effective, and it's all about the timing of it, really. Gets the guy to reach, goes underneath it, hits it at the right time where the guy's weight is shifted into his foot. Keep saying it's simple, but that does not mean it's easy. Again, taps side of guy's head. This guy starts to reach up. As he reaches up, he's stepping forward. Jo's already started his penetration as the weight shifts into this guy's foot. There's just no getting that foot up and out with that kind of timing. Here's another instance of that fake touch head tap. So you start to close the distance a little bit. Just taps the side of his head. This guy starts to reach. This arm up. As he continues. Now, for some reason, this guy decides to pick this foot up. Not entirely sure why. My best guess is that, so when Jo starts to level change, his head's on the opposite side of the side he's attacking, which could feel like a misdirection to the guy's left side or Jo's right side. So it could feel like he's attacking that because his head's on the opposite side, but it's really subtle. In any case, the concepts are still the same. He gets weight into the foot he's attacking, and in this scenario, he just also gets the guy's hand to come up as he taps his head. So this foot comes up first, which means there's weight in that foot, in the foot he's attacking, and Jo's already into his penetration, and it's just too late. Not enough time for the guy to pick his foot up completely and get it away. Plus the angle he's trying to defend at is super hard. Jo's basically already perpendicular to him. Here's another way he shifts weight into the guy's foot by using his fakes. So here we're going to see him level change and fake. and the hand he's faking with, it looks like it's reaching to the guy's opposite side leg. So it's small level change, hand reaches to opposite side leg, and continues his level change as he picks his foot up, as Molinaro picks his foot up. Jo attacks the side with all the weight on it. Fake, attack. Again, super simple setups, just the timing is the most crucial part, right? Because if he waits half a second too long, hits his fake, gets the weight to shift here. If he waits half a second too long, Molinaro's able to get his foot up before he can even get his arm around it. So just like in the last clip, he's using a fake to get the weight shift to the foot he wants. And in this one, he's using his back foot, the one furthest away, to create a little misdirection angle. So as he level changes, he just steps it out to the side and then reaches with that same side hand to make him think he's going to attack his left leg. And when the weight shift happens back into this other foot, he's already level changing before the weight even gets there. So this guy's foot's still off the mat. All the weight is on his opposite foot. But again, the timing is attacking as the weight's coming down, not while it's already there. Once it hits, boom, weight hits, he's already in there. That's super off balance. That's one of my favorite ones. So again, uses level changes in misdirection, starts to come back to the other side. So this guy's moving, trying to move away from the attack on his far side. Weight on his foot. So in the previous ones, Jo created the weight shift himself. So he kind of knew when the timing was correct, because he either used collar tie left or right to put the weight in the guy's foot, or he used a fake to put the weight in the guy's foot. Now, these next couple, he's gonna take what the guy's giving him and time his attack based on the other guy's movements or reactions. Instead of generating the timing himself, he's gonna time it based on the other guy. So here, Dardane's giving a lot of pressure forward, and Jo feels it, so he starts to give ground. All right, so Jo's gonna back up and give ground. He's gonna start his footwork for his penetration. Now, as his back foot hits, to start moving forward again, all that weight from Dardane's pressure is in that front foot, the one he wants to attack. So he just drops, doesn't get in. There was so much pressure into that one that he didn't even have to hit a knee to close the distance anymore. So pressure, boom. He catches the pressure with his back step and then starts to move back into him and level change as all that weight shifts into his front foot. So here's another clip where he takes the guy's pressure and is able to get the correct timing for his attack. So he's not doing anything like in the previous clips where he's pulling the guy's head or hitting a fake or anything. Just Meredith has him on the edge, and Meredith keeps pushing into him, and Jo.'s going to use that push. So you can see Meredith's kind of starting to lean forward, so that if Jo backsteps, as he's starting to do right now, and kind of relieves that pressure a little bit and lowers his level, Meredith's going to fall right over top of him. Starts the level change. That weight shifting forward. He's able to get right around behind him. And we don't see the weight shift into his foot as much on this one. And it's just because instead of having more of a staggered stance, he's really started to lean, where his feet are almost even together, and he's leaned his chest out over his feet. If he was in more of a staggered stance, this foot would have probably came forward and had weight on it. But this forward falling motion is essentially the same thing. It's that weight coming forward as he attacks. This clip I would almost consider pure timing, because he's not doing anything to put weight on Bajrang's foot. Just Bajrang moving forward is going to put the weight on his foot, and Jo times it, and it's such a subtle step that I just consider it's a pure timing attack. Bajrang starts to step forward. It's not even a big one. There's not a ton of pressure. There's still space between them. Now, before he puts the weight into his front foot step, Jo's already started his penetration step footwork. It's that level change. And you can see where all the weight is. All the weight's in that front foot. Super easy. Excuse me, super simple. Not super easy. Super simple. Just times it so well. Starts his level change and penetration as this weight starts to get planted in this foot. It's able to get to it without any problems.